Hi, everybody, and welcome to The Better Show. I'm J.D. Roberto. My partner in crime, Audra, is out again today, but that means I get the pleasure of hanging out with Jill Zarin. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here, but I hope Audra's feeling better.
She is. She scratched her eye.
I know.
She got like scratched cornea, and she's dealing with that. You are so much fun. We've been goofing off all morning already. Now, you were obviously from the Real Housewives. You've got your own line. It's the Squeeze Couture line.
It is.
I wear all the products. In fact,
I love products for you. Not that you need it. Not that you need it.
I probably could use them. But you're a businesswoman.
I am.
Tell us a little bit more about what you do and what you're up to so the folks know.
Well, after the show, I had so many opportunities coming at me, and I was in the middle of so many projects. But right now, I've got Squeeze Couture launching on HSN next Friday. I am so nervous, I can't tell you. And I don't get nervous. Do I look nervous here? I'm not nervous,
at all.
But it's 3 hours next Friday, in case anybody wants to watch, at 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. And my jewelry line launched last week, Jill Zarin Jewelry. It's like a little micro collection that I wanted really people who know me to see and let me know what they like and price points and different things. But my big line will be out this summer. And I'm just working really hard. I do a lot of personal appearances to colleges, and I'm going to Dallas for one in a few weeks, so I'm keeping busy, but I'm happy to be here today. I love doing this, but don't worry, Audra, I'm keeping your seat warm.
You are.
And I'm just thrilled to be here.
It's good to have you here. So you're a self-made woman. You're an entrepreneur and a business owner.
I think so.
Finding a job right now is a big topic. We talk about it a lot. People are really struggling to find a job. One of the things that we find, and I don't know if you found this, is that people really blow it in the interview phase. They get into that interview and they make some really basic mistakes. In a minute, we're going to have a guest in from dailyworth.com, and she's going to tell us some of those mistakes. But before we do that, we went around our office to ask people what the worst mistake they'd ever made at an interview was, and there are some horror stories. Check this out.
The biggest mistake I ever made when I was applying for a job was to wear jeans inside out. I was trying to get a job at a surf shop at a mall in California, and at the time in the 80s, the inside-out jeans seemed to be very cool. That was my option for the interview, which was a huge mistake, and I wished my parents would have told me, like, dress appropriately for an interview. From there on out, I did, but I just know that that was a major issue for me that day.
My biggest horror story about job interviews isn't actually about me. A very close friend of mine back in high school, so this is way long time ago, I got him a job interview where I was working. He called me that day and said he wasn't feeling well, and I said, you have to come into this interview. They're interviewing a lot of people. If you don't come today, you won't have a shot. So he decided he's going to drink a lot of water, get himself all hydrated so he's feeling a little better. He shows up early for the interview, but way too early. And in his state of mind, decides that he needed to relieve himself, but he didn't want to go in too early and seem too eager. So he decides to walk around the side of the parking lot, find a good spot, and relieve himself out there. Well, needless to say, the guy who was interviewing him was interviewing someone else at the time, and he had a window corner office. Well, my friend was actually relieving himself on that guy's car, and he saw him. So the next thing we know, my friend comes into the building, he goes to meet the guy, and the guy goes, I just called security about you. What are you doing here? That was his interview. Needless to say, he did not get the job, and I, of course, denied knowing who he was at all.
Okay, I think we can all agree that peeing in the parking lot, not a great idea.
Not a great idea.
Not a great idea. Sometimes, though, the problem's a little more subtle than that, and today we want to help you find that job.
Dailyworth.com's editor-in-chief, MP Dunleavy, is here with the most common mistakes when it comes to applying for a job and how to sell yourself better. Welcome.
Hi.
And this is good information, because I think a lot of people go into interviews and they have no idea what they did wrong. They walk out and they've blown it, and they can feel that they've blown it, but they have no idea how or why.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all laid up way in advance.
So tell us, what's your number one thing on your list for people? One of the things that I was really surprised by is you said the email address that you have on your application or that you send your inquiry from actually matters.
Well, one of the things that we've been hearing from CEOs in this digital age is that they're looking for a hip email address.
Really?
So, yeah, if you've got that Hotmail account, maybe you want to ditch it.
So what would you, like, give me some ideas of things
you know, you could switch to Gmail, or you could have your own domain. That looks kind of sophisticated.
I do. Do you?
You?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I do.
I mean, in our business, I think a lot of us have our own domain name. But I use, like, I have a Yahoo account that I use when I sign up for whatever mailing thing that I have to get.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're saying
I still love my AOL account.
Well, exactly, but
you know,
you're saying I shouldn't.
Oh, no. AOL, no.
Never give it
I think we got to
just
let
telling you right
go
now.
of AOL.
1987. Oh, my goodness.
And it might be 1989, but
You can do your shopping. apply for your jobs from AOL.
Okay.
Right. No,
Yeah, look
I
more
agree.
of what-
I would use my own domain. I think, you know, one of the things that I suggest, I speak a lot at colleges and give tips to graduating students, and one of the things I tell them is they need to have their own website, especially graduating students.
Absolutely.
I mean, take everything you learned in college and design your own website.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. You also said, I was interested in this one, market yourself, but not like Taylor Swift. What does she do wrong?
Well, apparently Taylor Swift, believe it or not, gorgeous as she is, she was on some of the least selling magazine covers.
You're kidding.
Yeah, well, part of it...
So
I had no
popular,
idea.
but not good at marketing
beautiful.
yourself.
Yeah, she's just not a story. So what you need
No,
is...
you know what it is? That she's not doing anything wrong, so anybody...
Right, yeah, exactly.
Say
That can be
about
part
her.
of it. Well, you don't have to do something wrong to get a job, but I think you need a line. You need a profile. You need to look exceptional.
I agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
And going along with that and knowing how to market yourself, not changing your name. This one is terrifying to me. So you're saying everyone out there should Google themselves and see what comes up.
And see what comes up, just in case. Maybe you need to use your middle initial. I mean, think about the Casey Anthonys of the world.
Also, there may be a lot of people with your name, so you
Right.
want to do something to differentiate it, and when your
Yes.
potential employer pulls you up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you just want to differentiate yourself. That's the message here of both of those. In fact, all three of those tips.
You know what I tell
You
my
wanna
daughter?
stand out.
Everything that you do, you know, and this is on the digital age, can affect your job application one day. So be very careful of what you put up on Facebook and what
yeah.
you put up on Twitter.
Yeah, be
because
very
all,
Internet is
all these
forever.
cookies stay forever.
Ever, yes. People can find, oh man, the stuff that people have found on me, it's terrible.
Well,
Yeah.
if you're going for a job interview, it is likely that they're going to look you up on Facebook.
They
So
should.
don't do anything that you wouldn't
Yeah.
want them to see.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
And you also
Nothing's
say
private.
you also say not following directions. Just failing the simple
That's
act
the worst.
of following directions.
Well, we just did a job hunt on Daily Worth, actually. We solicited a whole bunch of new hires, and we got in tons of resumes. And you would think that people could follow the basic directions. No. If you're looking for a sales position, then apply for the sales position, not the editing position.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing, too? How about typos? Do you know how many times I've gotten
Oh,
resumes and
terrible.
things like that with typos? No cover letter, nothing.
Yeah.
And I think the bottom line is that when an employer looks at your typos or your inability to follow directions, they think, okay, when this person works for me,
Oh,
they're
look at
going to
it,
make
yeah.
the same mistakes. And if you're
Yeah.
putting your best foot forward
Makes
and
it
doing
easier.
it badly,
Makes it
who
easier for
wants
an
you?
employer to eliminate people right
Sure.
away based
Yeah.
on those little mistakes. So be
They're
careful when you're
small.
applying.
They're small, but they add up. Yeah.
They certainly do. All right, well, for other job application mistakes that you definitely want to avoid, go to BetterTV.com and click on the link, and it's dailyworth.com. Absolutely. It's a daily email, Women and Money. Great email. Maybe be part of that, too. We'll be right back.